Hello, and welcome back to Marketing Tip Tea Time at 2:22. I'm Aaron Zimala, and with me today is...
your boy, Josh French, back at it again.
We are super excited. Josh is joining us after a very long break. And he's here. He's looking good.
Feeling good?
Look at that.
Feeling a lot better.
Yeah, super exciting. We did not make an event or do a lot of things this week due to a lot of craziness with some of our clients here at Zova. So you can expect more consistency next week, but just in case you haven't heard, we've been in the news, and so is one of our clients all over the place.
Yeah.
Entertainment Tonight, all sorts of different places. Actually, we've been in the news quite a bit lately. So if you haven't already checked it out, we have a post on our Facebook and on our Instagram. You can get the inside scoop on some of the stuff that's happening with the Revenge Reunion. We actually have the links to Entertainment Tonight. It's also been in Us Weekly, People Magazine, E-News.
We did some publicity.
Yeah, Daily Mail UK, all over the place. Yes, so that's why we've actually been doing a lot with that, and thanks to Winkle Picker Entertainment, who has been, rolling with the punches with us, and we've been doing a pretty decent job with our entire team to try and get that going. So, we're here right now, Marketing Tip Tea Time. We've got Josh, and we've got a very special tea for you today. Josh is going to actually introduce the tea. Yeah.
Yes, so shout out to Peter Romero for suggesting this tea and providing it to us. This is Yuzucha tea, isn't that right, Aaron?
That is correct.
Yuzucha, yeah,
Yep.
that's the correct pronunciation. We've got
is correct.
honey citron teas. This is 3% honey, a very sweet tea, and it's a South Korean traditional tea. Also
Japanese, right, too, right?
and
Yeah.
Japanese, and
They're,
we actually have the Japanese pronunciation of this.
yes.
Yes.
Or the spelling.
The spelling, yes.
There it is.
So in case you wanted to see that,
In
pretty cool.
case. Yep.
Shout out
that's
to Peter.
awesome. Thank you, Peter.
So without further ado, let's just
Yeah.
get right into this.
We got a spoon because it's
Yeah.
like a marmalade apparently, very viscous.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, and
So you just get a little spoonful
oh, that is like a marmalade, huh?
and you just plop it right in.
Yeah, right into mine. There we go. And we gotta mix. We gotta stir it, right?
There you go.
So
Yep.
let me get some hot water in there. Again, this is live, everybody, and here's my beautiful computer. Wow, camera too. Okay, so let me. Ooh, oh, let's see. Oh, get that pour in. Ooh,
Get that pour.
There we go. And then I'm gonna let you pour yours.
Okay.
Oh wait, I'm just put it back
Oh,
away.
okay.
We have limited
And then
space.
here's the
Oh,
spoon to mix.
perfect. I'm gonna mix it.
And we'll just put that right
So
here.
the show today is just me attempting to mix marmalade into water. Beautiful.
Showed you another dangerous pour right over Aaron's
Oh.
laptop.
Oh boy.
How's it going over there?
It's going great. Today we're going to talk about the iOS 14 update and all of the blocking of third-party apps and third-party cookies and what that means for advertisers and businesses who rely heavily on digital advertising. That's all we do, so we have to keep on top of all of this. By the way, just a little heads up for everyone. I'm a little bit tired today. I encourage everyone to go all in on something they suck at. Recently, I've been trying to swim. I suck at swimming. It's a great feeling sucking. Really, really, really bad. That's I know. It's not like okay.
You're getting better though, right? You've been swimming quite a bit.
I've been swimming.
Making progress.
I've been swimming. I don't know if I've been
Yeah.
getting better.
Yes, let's stir this right out.
Whoa. Okay, this is my unedited reaction. I haven't tried this yet. Josh cheated and tried it earlier.
Okay, you know what?
Oh my
Peter made
gosh.
me a cup yesterday,
That
so I
just-
couldn't turn that down.
That blew my mind.
Pretty sweet, huh?
That's crazy. I like it. Thank you.
Very sweet tea.
Thank you, Peter. That is a sweet tea, and it's got this like tang to it. It's like lemony, citrusy, a little dash of honey. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah,
That's some good stuff. That's some good stuff.
really taste the honey.
Yes. Okay, so if you do any sort of advertising online, either your advertising agency, your digital advertising agency, or you have gotten these messages from Facebook originally that's saying, uh-oh, it's not going to be good. Apple is changing a lot of what's going on. And so that's going to be big. It's actually the iOS 14.4 update.
14.4 update, the
And
newest one.
boy, is this making waves. But there are ways around it. There are things that are happening that are great. And yeah, we're going to get through it, everyone. Everybody's freaking out, Facebook especially. But there's some stuff we can do.
Yeah, so the reason why these big companies, Google, Facebook, are freaking out about this update is because it will require developers to request access to track user information
Yes.
prior to them using the app, if it, of course, is a non-Apple app. So if it's one of Apple's apps, you won't be prompted that message, hey, can we collect your information? Only non-Apple apps.
Only which poses a problem. So now there's actually a lawsuit.
There is. Facebook is considering filing an antitrust lawsuit against Apple if they go through with the iOS 14.4 update here. So if that goes through, we could be seeing a lawsuit against Apple.
Yes,
from
because
Facebook.
because they're not imposing the same restrictions on their own apps that they have as they are on other apps such as Facebook and Google, things like that. Which it's actually kind of a big problem there. And if you have any questions, once again, everybody just dive on in, ask those questions. My mom, hi mom,
Hi, Aaron's
every
mom.
time, and Peter Romero, thank you again for the tea.
You're the man.
Yes, you are the man. Now, Facebook has freaked out.
Oh, big time.
Google, on the other hand, hasn't quite freaked out as much as Facebook. Why is that, Josh?
And that's because they've sort of found a way around the problem. So what developers have been using for Apple's apps, they use a tracking tool provided from Apple. It's called IDFA. It stands for Identifier for Advertisers, right? And that's been the main tool for tracking user information across the apps across Apple's App
A little
Store.
chunk there.
So it's with that specific tool, developers that use that to track information, that you will have to prompt that request, hey, can we track your, can we get your information, can we track that? So what Google's actually doing is they're planning on completely just rerouting that and using a different tool by Apple to track information from the users that use their apps. And that tool is called SK Ad Network. It's considered less effective, but it's
SCAD network.
SCAD network, yeah. So basically they're just rerouting around that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've got a way around it.
Now, Facebook has actually been fighting this super hard. They've gone to the news. As an advertiser, we actually got messages and emails from Facebook saying that this could end Facebook and it's the end of the world and basically everything's going to turn on fire and that Facebook might not even allow their app to be on Apple devices anymore after this because of these restrictions. If you don't know how social media remains free for you, it's through advertisers like us that make it free for the public. So essentially, the product that Facebook is giving people is ad services, right? And it's actually businesses that are buying the people. So when a business comes to us and we run an ad on Facebook, Facebook's making money off of the ad we're running, and that's why it's free for everyone. Just for a little background, if you don't understand, like, how can this remain free? And they're spending millions and billions of dollars developing this stuff. It's because that ad spend from businesses is what makes it free. So the way that we are able to make sure that it's really valuable is we do conversion tracking, which we talk about a lot. And through conversion tracking, we can see how much money exactly the ads are getting in return for our Facebook ads or our Google ads. So that's why this tracking is really important, and Facebook started to freak out because the less information that advertisers can get, then the hairier it is and the more difficult it is for advertisers to prove their worth to other businesses, and that could negatively affect how much people spend on the platform.
Exactly.
Essentially.
I mean, it
Yeah.
would be much harder to track your true ROI of a campaign when this problem shows up. And when you're looking at it from a user standpoint, when you're hopping onto Facebook and you get this message, hey, do you want to allow advertisers to track your data? What are most people going to pick? Yes or no?
No.
Probably no. But, unbeknownst to a lot of people, this will significantly impact their experience on these platforms.
Yes, in fact, some apps and websites will stop working altogether because they rely on third-party cookies to do things, such as Shopify relies on third-party cookies for their cart to work on your phone. So you can go and directly buy something, but if you want to add things to the cart and go back later, Shopify is actually not going to be able to operate very well because its cart requires cookies to store that information in the cart. So this is actually not just a Facebook, Google thing. This is all apps, all websites that are developed outside of the Apple system, essentially. Are going to be
And
affected.
as a side note to that, what it can also affect is just the content you see scrolling through your Facebook feed, for example. Instead of seeing ads that are relevant to you about things you might be interested in, certain items you might have been researching, things relevant to your industry maybe. You might instead get a bunch of random ads that have no relevance to you and you would never even
Have
be
you ever
somewhat
looked through your
interested in
social media and just like every post you're like, yeah, like every post is just exactly what you want to see? That's because of the way that the social media works, and it's able to know what you want to see and it gives that to you. So now there's going to be most likely a lot more randomness. My guess is in the future, everybody's going to kind of collaborate and there will be some sort of a middle ground met in the future, but it's kind of this push that's going to be a little rough for probably 2 to 3 months that'll throw everybody for a loop. Yeah. And we've already seen a lot of these changes on Facebook. So, for example, Facebook actually retroactively also changed it. So all your past data has been changed too. Before we had what's called a 30-day conversion window, well, a 30-day conversion window, which means that when somebody clicks on an ad, they have essentially 30 days that they can buy something, and that will say that it's because of the ad. So 30-day conversion window, and then a 7-day what they call view through, so you can see the ad and then they buy. So that means that your ad contributed to the purchasing process. Well, with Apple's changes, it's actually now everything's defaulted to 7-day click, 1-day view. So it's changed dramatically, and they've retroactively done that. So all of the data that already came into Facebook that you had before has been changed to a 7-day default. And you can't change it. You can't toggle it back.
And we've noticed there can be quite a big difference between different attribution windows.
Yep.
Right, looking at a 28-day click versus a 7-day click, we've noticed for most clients, a big change in conversion value.
Yeah,
upwards of like 25%.
Yeah, about 25% is
So-
the average. Yeah, so it will change the way that we're looking at this. However, Google does have these workarounds, and we use something called Google Data Studio, which allows us a lot more attribution stuff. So that's going to be really helpful because we think we can keep reporting some of these things even through Google Data Studio because it just knows a lot more.
Right. So if Facebook doesn't let us see a 28-day click window, maybe we can pull that information through Google Data Studio, change the window to show that, and then be able to see it through a dashboard.
Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, what about Facebook in the news? You looked up a lot more of what they're saying.
Oh yeah. So
The
they were running.
Smackdown.
They were running a big ad campaign. I mean, it was on. Let's see, New York Times, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, saying that it'll change the internet as we know it for worse.
As we know it.
They are very, very opposed to this, and they did pretty much everything they could try to stop Apple
as
from
we know it.
implementing this update.
Yeah,
for
they
that
did.
reason.
They did a lot. They actually unverified Apple's accounts across
Oh,
Facebook
yeah.
and
That's
Instagram
right. Yeah.
in retaliation. They've done a couple of other things. It's kind of turned into this big tech war. We'll see where it goes. We're just along
Yeah,
for the
they're
ride.
just butting heads
Yeah,
right now.
they don't really like it. And Facebook also, and this isn't a big deal for us. We're conversion based. Facebook will have to limit. Well, any sort of conversion will actually be limited to only 8 conversion goals or objectives that you can select for an ad. So right now, Facebook reports everything to you. If somebody clicks, if somebody views the landing page, if somebody views your cart, what item, I mean, you can see everything. Really, all we care about is essentially like cart and checkout and click. Like those are the only things. But even then, a lot of this data, it's not going to be a direct like line, but you can go onto your website and look at, like your Google Analytics, and it will still tell you what the funnel looks like for those who went on a landing page and then check out and then actually converted. So, a lot of it is just kind of overlap stuff, and you'll still be able to see a lot of this stuff on your owned data on your website. Or, so if you own the website and you have analytics set up on it, I mean, your website is constantly recording all of that stuff. And it's not requiring a third-party app. It's all native on your website. Some things like if you're Shopify and you're requiring this cart to work off of cookies, that could become a little hairy. But there are other ways around it, and all of that's recorded. So it's not really going to affect a lot of people, at least who aren't doing retargeting ads and other things. Retargeting ads are going to be the thing that gets shafted the most.
They're going to get hammered, yeah, because you're not going to be able to put that cookie in place to use for retargeting. So someone opts out, there's no way you can retarget to them.
But honestly, I'm going to let you know this. Retargeting, we went down that path for a while, and this is an unpopular opinion. I don't think it's worth it. Because the way that you have a retargeting ad that does really well is through a discount code that shows up after some. So if you look at shoes, the way it really works is if you see those same shoes later with a discount code. Now, a lot of people have actually started to lean into that, and they'll purposefully go see a product and then they'll leave because they know that there's a good chance that they'll get a discount code through retargeting later. But if the first touch that a customer comes into your business with is with a discount, it actually lowers the perceived value of your brand, and they're somewhere around 85% less likely to shop again. So it's not building brand loyalty, it's not building lifetime value of the customer, it's maybe getting a quick sale, but it's not doing much more than that. And a lot of these companies are like really investing in volume of ads, and so they're just able to churn a lot and get like a lot of new people in all the time, and then they leave. But really, what we do is it's all about looking really good, getting people in the door, having them convert, then that being a really awesome experience, and then them coming back and coming back and coming back. Because ultimately, a return customer is like 90% cheaper to just keep having come back than like constantly doing these ads. So really, I'm not that big of a fan of retargeting because and you get annoyed. Like how many of you, like suddenly you've gone on some website and it's everywhere? That's annoying. And it actually, in my mind, retargeting can lessen the perceived value of your brand in general and could be more detrimental than helpful. So,
right, and that's especially important to consider, like you said, when you're looking at long-term value of a customer, when your business, when you're offering products or services that you can keep a customer for a long time, specifically for that, I mean, more importantly for that even, that you probably want to avoid that just so you can build that brand loyalty, increase that long-term value, and hold on to the customer.
Exactly. Now, Josh, most people probably don't understand why cookies are really, really that important. But what does it do for the experience of the customer? Like, doesn't it really help just people on social media to engage a lot more with cookies? Because it just shows them what they want.
Right.
And it allows you to set your preference. That's another thing. You're not going to be able to set your Facebook preferences or your Instagram preferences as much because now you can go in and you can say, I want to see these things, I don't want to see these things. That's actually not going to work as well this time.
Right. So that will definitely affect user experience. And like we touched on earlier, that's kind of something that's been a big back and forth thing where users, they want to be more in control of their data, but that comes with a cost, right?
Here's the other thing, and we've said this before. When we see your data, we see it in aggregate. We can't be like, oh, that specific person
point.
did something.
Yeah. Everyone has like a unique identifier, but it's not like tied.
It's not tied to
we can't see it's your name and all your personal information, right? It's like just a unique identifier, right? A bunch of numbers.
Right.
That's your code, right?
And even then, like, we can't even see anything beyond that. Facebook and Google stores all that, and it's not accessible by advertisers.
Yeah, so we can't see any of your personal
so
information.
we can't go in and be like, oh, this is Billy Robinson, and he lives in Fort Morgan, and he has 5 dogs, and we can't see any of that.
No.
The back end of Facebook and Google makes the decisions for what's going to be most important. Mm-hmm. And we just feed the system what we're looking for, and it will go out and find that. But we're not able to see that. If you watched Social Dilemma, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Quick aside, I think it's good for people to realize that technology is changing and that, but honestly, it's very misleading. It made it look like there are people sitting there like looking at all your information going, oh, we're going to serve them that way. That's not happening. There's a computer somewhere that recognizes patterns and is essentially saying, this person has liked 20 dog posts, and this advertiser has, an ad for adopting dogs. Maybe this person would like an ad about adopting dogs. That's essentially what's happening. No one is sitting there like clicking buttons and saying, this is what you do. It was very misleading, so I just want people to kind of have a second brain on that to realize that it's not quite the way they portray it.
No.
They make it really scary, and it's actually not that scary. If you know what's happening in the industry, it's not as scary as they portray it.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely not. From what I've heard, I haven't seen that, but from what you've told me.
The thank you,
clips I've
Daniel.
seen.
Tuning in from
Larimer?
Lamar or Lamar? Larimar. I think
it's either Lamar or Larimer.
I think it's Lamar. I think he's tuning
Lamar
in
is
from Lamar. It's a ways
4-hour drive
it's a ways away.
south.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little far away, huh?
Now, are these changes going to stay, Josh? What's Apple thinking? What's the skinny?
All right, so here's our opinion on this. Aaron and I are thinking. Yeah.
Can we have a scrolling like? Whoosh? No, I don't think Phil can do that. Okay.
We're thinking that these changes aren't going to last for a long time.
No.
Especially given that Apple could be facing a huge lawsuit from Facebook for antitrust. So, that on top of just the impact it's going to have on advertising, right? On the transparency of data, on tracking ROI, on seeing effectiveness, right? That's going to have a big impact. And because of that, we're thinking, what, you said 2-3 months?
2-3 months, yep.
Yeah, we're thinking they won't last for long.
Right.
But I guess we'll see. Only
On that
time
note,
will tell.
So Apple, do you know when this lawsuit's going to happen?
From the article I read, right after Apple goes live with these changes, right after the update is published.
Comment. Who's going to win?
It's going down.
It's going down. Facebook or
versus
Apple?
There should be some
Smackdown.
There should be some official betting odds on this.
I feel like we should probably.
I want to place a bet.
I feel like what we should do is we should actually have a night where we stream the lawsuit, because it'll probably be live somewhere, some of it, and we'll live stream and provide commentary like it's a boxing match.
It'll be like the Mayweather-McGregor match, but Facebook versus Apple. Yeah, pretty much the same thing,
Pretty much
right?
the same
Just
thing.
about
exactly.
It's entertaining, right?
Yep, exactly. So, I think that's all we have. I'm trying to drink my tea really fast because Peter said to munch on the stuff at the bottom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in a comment. He said it. He said, eat it.
Eat the rinds at the bottom. I haven't gotten to the bottom yet. I've still got a third to go. But
I'm drinking.
I'll give it a
I'm
try.
doing
You're going to go for it? You're going to eat some of the rinds?
This is the last you'll see of the tea time today is me taking a big scoop of rind.
That's a big scoop.
That's a big scoop.
How was it?
The consistency is like eating an orange rind.
Oh,
The flavor was like eating a slightly sweeter orange rind.
nice.
That's an experience.
Sounds tasty.
Thank you, Peter, so much. I think my eyes are twitching a little. Don't mind that, guys. Just like- so, yeah, basically that is what's happening with Apple and Facebook and Google. Don't freak out, guys. Everything's going to be okay. It'll get figured out, and there are ways around it. And also, I mean, some of the data you don't need. How many people use all the data? Probably not a lot.
Not all of it is super
Important.
super
And
necessary.
eight things you can track, that's a lot. Like to me, 8 things is kind of a, we only like really track 3 from the ad account, and then the rest we do on the website. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. So we think things will be okay.
I'm done
This'll
with
work out.
I'm done with my tea, but
That's our 2 cents on the new Apple update, iOS 14.4. So
14.4.
Oh, I see.
Cool.
So thanks for joining us as we talk about this crazy new update from Apple. And
There's
Aaron's-
music in my ear.
Oh, Aaron's getting his little dance on. Yeah.
Until next
Got
time.
our got a little ending music. Thanks for joining us.
Nostravi.
Cheers.
I think we went a little long. So. That's cool.
How long was the stream?